As Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places." At 39 years old, I didn't just break, I shattered. And this is the story of how I picked up the pieces, not to rebuild the old me, but to create someone entirely new. If you're watching this and you feel like your back is against the wall, I want you to do one thing for me before we dive in. Hit that subscribe button. Because what I'm about to share isn't just a story, it's a survival guide for anyone who refuses to drown. January was the month my life turned into a nightmare. Picture this. I'm lying on a cold hospital gurney, staring at the fluorescent lights, clutching a medical report I didn't want to read. In one hand, I held my phone, watching banking alerts flash. Overdraft, overdraft, overdraft. In my voicemail, my business partner was telling me we had to shut down. Everything collapsed at once. My health, my income, my identity. But the deepest pain wasn't physical. It was the silence at 3 a.m., lying next to my sleeping husband and daughter, staring at the ceiling, calculating how on earth I was going to support 3 people with a debt clock ticking at $200,000. That's the number that haunted my dreams. The fear wasn't just about money. It was the shame of feeling like a failure as a mother, as a wife, as a woman. The turning point was drastic. We moved. We downsized to a home half the size. As I packed up our old life, I threw away the expensive handbags that symbolized my success, and I held onto a crumpled drawing my daughter made me. In that moment, the weight lifted. Reducing the cost of living wasn't just a financial decision, it was a spiritual one. I was finally letting go of the lifestyle to save my life. This is where New Age meditation came in. But I'm not going to sell you on rainbows and butterflies. Meditation, for me, was about allowing myself to be broken. In the book The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle explains that all negativity is caused by an accumulation of psychological time and a denial of the present. I realized I was in agony because I was resisting the label of failure. I didn't want to accept that I was sick, broke, and lost. But during my meditations, I stopped fighting the monsters. I sat in the dark and watched them. I told myself, yes, I am scared. Yes, I am broke. Yes, I am sick. By validating that pain, I stripped it of its power. I stopped projecting a future of doom and just focused on the breath in my lungs. That acceptance was my first step back to the surf act. The second lesson is about the law of attraction. Everyone talks about visualizing wealth. But how do you visualize abundance when you're staring at a $200,000 deficit? I look back at the biography of Abraham Lincoln. Before he became president, he faced the collapse of his business, the death of his fiancée, and multiple election losses. Yet, he famously noted that while he lost material wealth, he never lost his capacity for hope. That shifted my focus. In my morning meditations, I stopped asking for money. Instead, I visualized the warmth of my daughter's hug, the safety of my husband's hand holding mine in the dark. I created an abundance of love. I realized that if I had love, I had fuel. I stopped looking at my debt as a mountain to climb and started looking at it as a hole I could slowly fill, one stone of effort at a time, all while knowing my family was right there holding the R. Oh, we live in a culture that tells us that by 40, we should have it figured out. I say, that's nonsense. Turning 40 isn't the finish line. It's the starting point for a race you actually care about. In the book Into the Wild, there is a line, "Happiness is only real when shared." I realized my previous happiness was superficial. It was about status. Now, at 40, my happiness is about authenticity. Moving into that smaller home wasn't a step backward. It was a hard reset. I told myself, this is your new operating system. At 40, I am finally brave enough to be poor, to be struggling, and to be open about it because I know this struggle is shaping the woman I am meant to become. So here I am, 6 months later. I still have debt. My health is still a journey. But I am no longer the woman who cried in the hospital hallway. I am the woman who stood back up and chose to walk. If my story resonates with you, if you're fighting your own battles right now, please don't just watch this video and leave. Press that subscribe button. Do it for yourself. Subscribe to this channel as a promise that you will keep moving forward, no matter what. I am your name, and I will see you in the next feed. Oh,